Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hot Tech, and this is yet another episode. We do this every Tuesday. We want to thank all the people who have subscribed to our channel, both on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We're there. So we talk about everything, all sports. Today we have a lot on our table. Yeah, starting with the CAF Champions League, the NBA basketball, some little rugby there, and also EPL and Laliga. So with me here, I have my co-host, Miss Hudson Mugweri. You can maybe say hello to the viewers here.
To the viewers out there, welcome once again to the next episode of the Hot Tech. We do it every Tuesday, and I'm just happy with the feedback we get and how you're enjoying the shows, the all episodes which is we are putting out there. Thank you very much for watching and for giving us the feedback, and that's incredible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's jump onto basketball. This weekend we had KIU really stand the Blazers in a game that ended in overtime, 81-79, to book the final against City Oilers in the 10th. They're going for their 10th championship here. So this is something unique. A lot of us did not expect Blazers to fumble. You were there at the game. I don't know what you picked up from the game, and some of the standard players. If you look at Peter Blaine with 22 points, Munana, yeah, Munava also produced 20 points, and that's with double double with 7 rebounds. I don't know what you witnessed from that event. It was really a thrilling game of basketball, end to end on both sides of the court.
It was an interesting series, and that's what we expected in this series. We didn't expect and is a win from both sides. Like it's going to be like a sweep. We expected a good fight, and of course, to some of us who love basketball, we're like I wish it's up to game 7, but it was up to it was a series of best of 5, and KIU came out victorious with the 3-2 win over the Namongo Blazers. I would say both teams displayed good basketball. Credit to the management of both teams with the kind of teams they assembled and the competition they put out. Because to me, I would say this was one of the best series I think we watched this season. Apart from the girls' side, when we saw Jetty Jaguars putting up a big fight against JK Lady Dolphins. But for this game, KIU has got the best point guard in the league right now in Uganda right now. Lokoji Joel is the best point guard we have, and he has a lot of brain. He's a person who can command the team so well, and we saw what he did in all the 5 games they were playing. And of course, they've got a silent assassin like Edgar Manava, who of course gave us 20 points and 70 rebounds in that game. But in this series, of course, he was giving us, of course, double figures when it comes to points. He hasn't been he has been one of the silent assassins for KIU. Of course, Oblenga as well. In the first half, he had 16 points in the game 5. He put up a good fight, and it was an incredible game. I would say the starting 5 of KIU, it's it's a hard one, but it's so competitive and it's a hard one. Because when you look at the likes of Temba as well, the likes of Mpia as well, though Mpia in this series was on and off, but I saw he put us some a good fight. Then the substitutes when you see Bugura started coming up on court, getting those rebounds. Colin Kasuja doing another good job. Of course, in this series we saw Ivan Lumanyika starting the games 5, and everyone was like, "Wow, he started the game," because he hasn't been playing all games. Of course, even Opio is among the players who gave us some good basketball. For Namongo Blazers, of course, they put up a good fight. Uh, Cheng, Peter Cheng put up an incredible series. He had good stats in this series. Of course, to me, he was averaging 15 points in the 5 games. It was a good one. Innocent Ochel as well did an incredible job. Uh, though Jimmy Williams was somehow off. They marked him off and was completely out of this series. I think he played 2 games, and the rest of the games was completely off. And I was like, okay, with this is going to be a problem. Paulo Don came up in game 4. He put up an incredible fight in game 4. Then also in game 5, he gave us a good game. Joseph Chum after game 1, we didn't see him again. doing what he did in game one was completely also he struggled. He struggled a lot. He struggled a lot from 2 to 5. He struggled a lot. But in game one, it was even shaking. It was just busy laughing because the kind of game he played in game one was so different. Leaving that aside, of course, the biggies of Amago Blazers, of course, Makiadi did an incredible job as well, picking up those rebounds. Though for him, he won't give you the points, but he'll give you the rebounds you need. Uh, he tried his level best as well. Chol also did some job as well, getting those rebounds and giving us the points. But he was coming off the bench as well. I would say somehow, somewhere, Blazers needed another typical point guard. Of course, they didn't overuse Daniel Gaki in this series. I think he played a few minutes in all the 5 games. Uh, and there was that thing which was lacking, that leadership. Who is coming with my ball? And I don't want to see turnovers. And I want to make better decisions when I'm going to make a basket. We saw some passes which were completely off and they were turning over the ball in game 5, which cost them a lot. Of course, they hustled so much. They played a good game. They went for overtime. And the overtime, of course, we saw Munabazano shall kill them in the overtime because I think he put up, out of the 8 points, he put up, I think, five points in the overtime as Munaba himself individually. So Zanu killed them in that. And Arthur Wanyoto was marking him, and Munaba was like, you know what? I'll take you down. And he did that to Arthur Wanyoto. He took down Arthur Wanyoto. And at the end of the day, KIU became victorious. But thanks to the kind of basketball which was displayed in that series, everyone enjoyed basketball. No fan left the arena saying, no, I thought KIU was just going to be the kind of walkover. No, it was a hustle. It was a big fight. And people were just amazed with the kind of basketball displayed amongst these teams. So credit to both teams for what they gave us, but I will give credit to KIU. The point guards are really, really mature, and they showed leadership and they showed maturity. And at the end of the day, they won the game.
Absolutely. Still sticking to KIU.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Still sticking
would
to KIU.
would you would you say that the coaching was part of it? Because you speak highly of Lutuama, the coach of KIU Titans.
Actually, he had a good rotation. I would say he had a good rotation. Though on the last day, I saw the team manager, the team owner, actually the team manager of the NASA Serunjoji on the bench as well. And I saw him talking to the coach, of course, in terms of rotations. I was telling him, please remove this one, put in this one, move this one, put in this one. At times, these managers also help the coaches when it comes to rotations. That was game 5. But in the other 4 games, Utrama was on the bench with his assistant and also some other. Of course, I saw Ahmed Kasa there as well in game 3, and also he was there in game 5. Yes, when you have such players who know their fellow players, be like, now, coach, let's do this kind of play to work for us. The manager is also there talking to him, but I'll give credit to Trauma because I know he's a person at times gets so pissed and emotional. But when I was talking to one of the players, he told the team, please, we're not here as jokers, we are here as champions. On top of that, we are here for a reason. Let's make it to the finals in the second year in a row. And if you win this game 5, my Saturday of this month of August is yours. That is a bonus. That is motivational. That that's motivational for a player. Is like, you know what? Let me go ahead and I was just happy with the statement he made. Is like, my Saturday for this month, if you win this game, is your bonus. That is just enough for the player. Even if it's him, I'll be like, you know what? Let me step on the pitch. Let me step on the court and I deliver. And that's what the players did.
Wow. Yeah. Also, on the other side of the aisle, we saw UCU being swept by the Oilers. What do you make of the Cannons? Is year in year out they always fail to really reach the finals. The only time I think they reached the finals was when Jason was still the sporting director at UCU. Yeah, but they have really struggled to really make the top two. They have always really been knocked out in the semi-finals. What did you make of their series against the Oilers, the Cannons? And what next for Coach Nick?
It was a good series. I would say it was a good series. It was they put up good basketball, but the senior players disappointed us at the end of the day. The senior players disappointed the coach as well because I talked to him through the chats and he's like the senior players are disappointed us in this series because the decisions they are making are not the decisions we would expect from a senior player. They played in the league for over 4 years, not 2 years, but over 4 years. So you know what to do. You know you're supposed to pass the ball here, you're supposed to take a drive here, you're supposed to put up a screen here. You know, you're not supposed to foul in a funny way. You know, you're leading the game. Why are you rushing to make a basket? Why are you rushing to turn over the ball? Why are you turning over the ball when you're having a 10-point lead at one time? You know, all that when you put it down, I'm sure the boys will get back. They'll be like, you know what? We are now back into next season. We need to put up a good fight. Even Oilers came in this series knowing that you know what, it's not going to be an easy one. Yes, of course they swept UCU, but it wasn't an easy one because the scores were somehow close. Not this thing of like I'm beating you by a 20-point gap. No, it was around 5, 6, 2, 3. Those that 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 was the gap. It was that big. Yes, Oilers also the introduction of Petty Parish coming on in game 3 was something so different. Of course, he shot UCU, and to the UCU fans, we just started laughing. We just started laughing. We just applauded the guy. You know, he had 4 out of 6 3-pointers, and the
Wow.
4 he made were back to back.
Wow.
Were back to back. You know what it means? Back to back. So one of it was even a deep 3-pointer, and everyone was like, "Wow, this guy is a problem." And that's when that's when it was fourth quarter. That's when he sealed the game, and everyone was like, "You know what? We've allowed. It's done. We can't do anything. It's done. It's completely done. We've been they've been UC has been swept. They have to go back to the drawing board and do what they're supposed to do." But generally, they put up a good fight, and I know next season they'll come strong. They'll come back strong. They'll do something because every season they're title contenders. They've not been. They've not been. They've not been. They're not title contenders. Every season they're title contenders. So it means a lot. It means a lot to the university side, and we see even how the girls are performing. They're now in the finals, and tomorrow they're playing against JKL Lady Dolphins. They are game 1, so it means a lot as the UCU fraternity. Like every season, we expect something from them, which is either semifinals or finals from both teams. That's the truth.
Yeah. So, and then before we move on to the
Yeah.
Jimmy
So
Enabu
and before we
and
move on to
Okello,
the
Okello's transfer, perhaps you could really throw some light on the ladies' finals and your expectations.
Ladies basketball, JKL Dolphins beat JT Jaguars. It was the series ended 3-1, and of course JT lost the two games. The two games they lost by half a basket, which was hurting to them. But they put up a good fight for the UC Lady Cannons. They beat KIU Rangers 3-1, of course, and they made it to the finals. So we are going to see two teams with experienced players. These are not kids, no. These are experienced players. They've been in the league for over 3 seasons. Some of them 2 seasons, but they know what to do. UC has got, of course, when you look at the UC team, you look at Shakila Navu, you look at Tracy Namugo, you look at Bridget Abba. Uh, those ones will do something on that floor. Millicent as well, I can't forget her because she was a tormentor in the last finals we played against Jekyll when we beat them in game 7. She was a big tormentor because she shot them hands down, and everyone was like, "Wow, this Kenyan is a problem." She shot them non-stop. Every ball should get to everyone was like, "That's a 3, it's going in," and that's how JKL lost that finals. But of course, JKL has got the services of Jenna Sinde, the captain of the
Yeah.
the Gazelles team, and also they've got Okello, also the assistant captain of the Gazelles team. They've got a former captain of the Gazelles as well. That's Flavio Quechua, an experienced player, who has been in the league for over 10 years, let me say 15 years, playing basketball in our league. She's one of the most decorated players. Actually, she's the most decorated player we have in the league. She's in the team. Of course, you've got Nachi Inji, another point guard who is so mature. Who is, when it comes to the IQ, ball IQ, she's on a different level. You've got Rita also Imanishime, who's another problem when it comes to that. She's a hustler. When it comes to that 3 point line, she'll give you a 3 pointer you need. Of course, they've got uh, another big man who's also on the who's now on the national team as well. So for JT for JKL Dolphins, I would say that is now, let me say, it's national team. Some of the national
Mm.
team players up
Mm.
against you
You
Lady
see,
Cannons,
yeah.
but both
The
teams are
lady
ready.
can also.
Yeah, both teams are
Mm.
ready, and
The
both
lady
teams,
can also.
yeah, both teams are ready, and both teams are ready to put up a good show in the finals. But when it comes to the winning championship,
Mm.
I'll go with UC winning championship.
How about the main side, the base of
About the
seven?
main
Oilers winning the 10th championship, but I don't know. It may end in a game six. It may be in games up to game six. It may go up to game six, but Oilers will win the championship.
All right, yeah. So anyway, you this week, last week you broke a story of you've been really following this issue of Jimmy Enabu and Okello, where they will land this transfer window. But you broke a news on your Twitter handle saying that Jimmy Enabu and Okello they are finalized they're finalized with the Riders, and you're looking at the Riders, one of the teams that are most likely to be promoted back to the NBL. What's with this story? What insight can you really give us about this transfer, and why did they really hope to really come back to Uganda? Because last time you're here, we were trying to talk about offers from Congo to Burundi to Rwanda. What also transpired on that end?
on that end.
Jimmy and Okello, James Okello traveled to Burundi. Uh, of course, when Jimmy was in Burundi, he got injured. And after like a 1 week or 2 weeks, he came back. He has been in Kampala, he's been in Entebbe, nursing his injury. Okello stayed there for some good time, and on top of that, the league of Burundi ends on 31st of August. So after 31st of August, they are free to go and play for any basketball team. And of course, Riders talked to them, gave them the hint how they're moving the project, how the project is going to be, how they want the club to succeed. And Jimmy, being born and raised by Riders, is like, you know what, let me come back home, I play for my team. Of course, he talked to James Okello as well. James Okello was like, okay, let me come and play for Riders as well. And then also the addition of Andrew Opio Mabenzi, who was one time also a City Oilers player, who also, I think he has 2, 3 championships with the club. He has also joined them. I saw him one time in Blue Hawks. I saw him one time in Falcons. He's an experienced player. He has come with experience. So all the 3 players they've signed, add on Colin Mukiza, who people still, if they know him in the times of miracle, is with Riders also. They've got 4 experienced players who have been in the top flight, and they've been at the top level. So with that, we expect them to put up a good fight so that Riders can come back to the top flight, because they've spent, I think, over more than, I think, 5 seasons when they're still down there. So if they make those signings, and if the signings deliver, we expect them to be in the top flight next season. So I would say it was a good signing for Riders, good decision made by the Riders management, for bringing the experienced players, for bringing the guys with maturity, and guys who are winners as well. So the lower division is going to be so interesting after the National Basketball League when it ends, because we shall now be focusing on lower division. That is Div 1 and D League, and Division, actually, yeah, Div 1 and Div 2. So we are still enjoying basketball in Uganda. We're not yet done.
Absolutely. So anyway, let's advance our conversation. Uh, this last week we had two teams represent Uganda on the continent, and Villa and Kitara. So last time we were here, we talked about the preparation they had with Kitara faced, and if you're looking at also what Villa really had to go through with the fans and also the ticket pricing, one would really like to say that both teams uh, lost the tie just from the not having the pure home advantage. First, with Kitara that did not have its fans there. First of China that had to play its game in Libya, and Villa that tried to really that squeezed its fun of the pricing, and that is where somebody would say, leave alone the tactical elements and what happened on the field, because you believe in Champions League football, you win your home game and you go away and score more goals, and both teams did that, and more especially Villa went ahead and drew that game. So would you see that? Where would you see that? Okay, what would you really pick out that really made this our both teams that represented Uganda on the continent really failed to progress to the second round?
Of course, Villa, first and foremost, the management pulled off a wrong move of putting the tickets at 50,000. That was so high for Ugandan who loves football. And guess what? That same weekend, the Premier League was kicking off. Yeah. So a fan will be like, that 50,000 is too much. I'd rather go sit somewhere, watch my game as I'm sipping on my drink than paying 50,000 for to watch SC Villa. Yes, it's home team. We love the team. But as of now, 50,000 was too much. Someone is like, I'm going to go to Nambole at 3 p.m. and pay 50,000 to watch that game. No, 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 no. I want to do it because the fans complained in most of the WhatsApp groups. They complained. They were like, no, that is too much money. Yes, we love our team, but that is too much money. If they wanted fundraising, we would have done the fundraising a long time ago to get money for the club. Yeah. So there are few fans at Nambole don't know also the chances of Kakande, because he had two chances in that game and he missed them, also cost them somehow somewhere in these groups in these qualifiers. Because if he had converted those goals, they would have gone away with big advantage of like, you know what? We've got two extra goals. We've got two more goals compared to our opponents. Of course, they went out there to Ethiopia, and they drew. It was 1-1. They drew. They did lose the game. For Chitara, they should stop blaming Nambole management for not giving them the facility. Also, the Vipers management. Vipers, that's not a government facility. That is an individual facility. It is owned by a person, not by the government. And in the CAF rules, they wouldn't let they wouldn't let Chitara play a game at Nambole a day after Villa playing the game from there. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard for CAF to do that. It is hard for CAF to do that because the Villa game was, I think, was on Friday,
Saturday
was on Saturday, right? The Chitara game was on Friday.
was on Friday.
Chitara game was on Friday. Villa game was on Saturday. They wouldn't, yeah, yeah. They wouldn't, they wouldn't, they wouldn't allow. CAF wouldn't allow on the same pitch. CAF wouldn't allow. Going back to Vipers thing, of course they complained. The Molinga refused give a pitch. Then how did their management talk to the management of Vipers? So now, another question. Go talk to say, you know, sometimes you're supposed to plan these things as early as possible. You've qualified for Confederations Cup. You very well know you have no ground where you're going to use the ground you're going to use at your home ground. Like at your home, you don't have in Hoima or Masindi. Option is one. Spend like entire 3 weeks, even just for 3 weeks. The game is like 2 months, like in 2 months' time. Spend that time sweet talking the management of these pitches. At the end of the day, they'll give you a good offer. But they took long to do that. By the time they did it, Vipers told them the pitch is occupied. There's an event is going to happen. And I can't cancel it. That's what Vipers told them. Yeah, that's what St. Mary's told them. So also planning ahead, planning ahead helps a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, but I can't blame them. Of course, if they were home,
Mm.
they would have won that game. They would have won their home game because the fan base they have and the way that fundraised people to come and watch the game.
Mm.
Because I was told that talk to most of the MPs in those regions
Mm.
that they'll be paying for the transportation of these funds, and funds are willing to
Mm.
come, and the MPs also willing to put in the money to make sure that the funds are transported to either Nambole or at St. Mary's to come and watch their team play. So it somehow affected them, but credit also the experience of the coach. It's his first time
Yeah.
coaching on such a top level, but he put
Yeah.
up yeah, but Brian, but he put up a good show. Of course, you saw how he put up two strikers at one time. Then you saw three strikers coming in as well in that game, which was I was like, okay, he's so tactical. He showed his tactics in these games, the two games, and moving forward, I'm looking at him as one of the good coaches we have in Uganda. I look at him as one of the top five coaches we have in Uganda locally because of what he showed us in those games. At the end of the day, of course, when you look at the opponents, of course, they had, of course, Shaban, they had Muhammad Shaban, who knows Ugandan football so well, and the opponents were also ready. They were at home and they were so ready. But but Chitara showed the opponents that, you know what? Yes, you've beaten us, but not with a big margin, because the aggregate was 6-4 for Chitara up against Benghazi. It was 6-4. So generally, it was good display from both teams, but hard luck that they're out of the Confederations Cup and CAF Champions League. So next time better, next time better.
Yeah. Also this
Yeah.
week there's this story that I've been following
Also this week, there's a story that
that what did that story look on as we before you move on, like this Derek Nsibambi. I don't know if you've really followed that story. He's returning to KCCA. If he played, it was in Mandari, played in Smoother in Egypt. Yeah, his professional career, moving on, like especially in the Maghreb region. Uh, do you think he's a viable replacement for Mohamed Shaban, looking at the league and the type of football since he last played in the Ghana Premier League? How the game has really changed with these new coaches coming in. KCCA.
Their home teams. You know,
Mm.
what does it say? They're like, you know what? The national team, I think, forgot us. Hmm? Let's get back, play good football, put up a good display. At the end of the day, they will start, because these are players who are starters on national team. But guess what? They are forgotten. They are forgotten at the end of the day. That I think they haven't been national team for some good for 2 3 years. They haven't been national team. Yeah, to them, they're like, you know what? Let's get back, and also they want playing time, because where they are, they may be playing like a few minutes, and they want to have playing time, because at times they're like, you know what? I've made money, I've done anything, but as a player, I need playing time. I don't need money only. I need playing time as well. And KC has offered Nsibambi a deal. Guess what? He's like, let me come back home, because at the end of the day, he's going to be a starter on that KC team, because he can't come off the bench. He's an experienced striker, and he proved to them before he even left. He proved to them, to the fans, to everyone, that, you know what? I'm a squad. I will give you the goals you need. And with such an experienced player, you need to give him playing time, and he'll give you the results you need. So it's a good signing for KCC. I can't say it's a bad signing, because you saw what happened in the FIFA Super 8, how they struggled up front there without a striker, a lead
That's
striker who give you the goals you need. After the patch of Saban, there was a big gap in Shaban. There was a big gap there. So this one coming back to KCCA, it's a big bonus to KCCA, because he has some players in that midfield. He has Bright Anakone who give you the passes you need. He has Salon George as well, who will do a good job as well. He has Mayanja, who will do a good job as well. So he has some players on that team. who give him the balls he needs, and at the end of the day, he'll give you the goals.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a striker joining KCCA. Most people would say it was a panic buy, looking at as you mentioned after the Super 8, KCCA's front line was really exposed, and heading into a season with the likes of Chitara firing on all cylinders, or Medis, you know, squaring with the Rabonas, Vipers also in there. So yeah, it was the right move for Coach Moviru. Yeah, but we also still believe that there's a lot of pressure uh, in Philip Omondi this season, especially on the coaching department. Yeah, so that's one thing that we'll have to look at uh, going forward, and something that we'll really observe whether Abdullah Muwiri will really uh, maintain his reign there in Lugogo. So anyway, let me just pass through this rugby a little bit here. What happened in Chadondo? It was a revenge show, something more of a revenge. Pirates really revenging their last season's loss to Heathens also at Chadondo, having a back-to-back win after winning the Ginger Seven. They come back here in Chadondo and win against uh, a resilient Heathens team with a score of 17-12, quite a tight score, same as it was in Ginger. So, and also on the ladies' side, we had the Avengers defeating Black Pearls 21-12, with Peace Lekuru pulling up one of the iconic basketball plays that anyone who was in Chadon really bear witness to that, carrying a Black Pearls player, rushing with him towards the try line, and it was really remarkable and showed resilient guts, and also something that really came out of the rugby saving that happened in Chadondo. So the circuit will take a fortnight, and after 2 weeks, they will travel to Gulu for the Gulu Seven, also an interesting one at Pecha Stadium. So rugby is still we are still we are trying to really, we are with this the seventh series before the league resumes this season. So it's really interesting that side of rugby. Uh, and also let's move to. I would also talk about some of our professions. Specifically, I want to really pick out the Tanzanian Premier League with Dese. You know, there's this news that was coming out of Tanzania that Mokwala could be really a flop. Stepping into Quiz shoes, it was really something really huge. But he managed to score a goal scored a goal in the first half against Fontaine. That game Simba won 4-0. So the Tanzania league is really moving really fast. And you look at the players that are up, they have a really an appetite for Ugandan players. What do you expect of as you move on, before we move on to international sports? I don't know if you've been following Mukwala in Tanzania, but he scored and he's really replacing or stepping actually in Emo Quiz shoes. Do you have high expectation of this striker? I remember we were talking about him here in the Ghanaian league, and really how remarkable he was, scoring an average of 13 goals in the Ghanaian league every season for 4 years, which is also remarkable. What are your expectations of this young striker, the Ghana Prince striker? This who has not really been a free agent so far.
In the Ghanaian league, in the 4 years it was in Ghana, of course, he was his name was always mentioned in the media because of what he was giving to the opponents. He was a big threat to every opponent out there. And with the Tanzanian league, of course, the advantage he has, the league has a lot of Ugandan players. He won't be out of home, he won't be out of place, and Ugandans have been there and they've proved themselves that you know what we can do something here and we can deliver results. But him being in the shoes of Emokwi was on the different level. Emmanuel Okwi is not the Emmanuel Okwi who can this side can't replace Emmanuel Okwi. That's the truth. But he will put up a good performance. But Emmanuel Okello of Tanzania, it was someone so different to the extent of teams, the national teams in Europe looking forward to signing. Actually, I'm still shocked how he missed out on that deal to going to Italian Serie A. Up to now, I'm
Mm.
like, what happened to our Ugandans?
Mm.
But I don't know what happened. But Emmanuel Okello was on a different level. But
Yes.
this one will put up a good fight. He put up a good show. And of
Mm.
course,
Yes.
I expect him to average like 10 goals in the first season. 10 goals max in the first season. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 goals, that would really be remarkable and good for the first,
Yeah, 10 goals. That
for
will
your
be
debut
remarkable
season,
and
for any
good
person's
for
debut
the.
season in the Tanzanian Premier League. Yeah. So anyway, let's go international. We had the Premier League this weekend. Arsenal picked up a vital point at Villa Park. Also a revenge kind of display. You know very well, Emery had always had Ateta's number. Yeah, ever since Ateta took over at Arsenal, he has really found it really difficult to really win against Aston Villa. But this win was really remarkable. It's a win of champions. I don't know what you made of Arsenal this weekend, picking up the 2-0 win in Villa Park, a game that was really intense. And one of the players that people are talking about is Thomas Partey coming off clutch.
It was an interesting game. That same team beat Arsenal home and away last season. And that same team made Arsenal lose, not to win the Champions season. Because they beat Arsenal home and away last season. And with the way the Arsenal played in the first half, of course, Villa would have been up because of the chance uh, Watkins had,
Mm.
which he missed because it
Yeah,
was an
Sita.
open goal to me. It was an open goal as a lead striker.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in. Then also in the second half, of course, still uh, Raya made a big save. That same header of Watkins, he missed. He made a big save. It was one of the biggest saves I've seen in the in Premier League now because it was a big save. Also, Arsenal comes back, and of course, the introduction of Trossard on the pitch. I think his second touch was a goal. He scored an incredible goal, and he saw his celebration. I think he was telling Ateta, "Do you know what? Why do you bench me? I'm supposed to be a starter ahead of
Hmm.
Martinelli
I should be starting
because
ahead of
now with the results
Martinelli.
we need,
Mm.
with the results we
I
need,
should be starting ahead of Martinelli.
yeah, with the results we need." For Thomas Partey in that midfield, of course, up against a crazy Onana, because I fear that the Belgian boy is a crazy one. But up against the crazy Onana in that midfield, the battery. Of course, Odegaard was doing his thing, passing the ball, but Partey with that goal he scored with one of the best keepers we know in the world, Martinez, because he won the World Cup. He has won just won Copa America as well. So he's one of the best keepers we have in this world. And with that, I would say Arsenal played a good game, and because for ball position wise, Arsenal was up ahead of Aston Villa. At the end of the day, the best team won, and credit to Arsenal and credit to Saka for the passes he gave to his players. And at the end of the day, they put up a good fight and they won the game.
Yeah,
They've got talent.
Yeah,
They have talent.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are also, remember last time we were talking about Chelsea. Yeah, people talking about Chelsea having a squad of 42 players, the coach coming out and disputing those remarks. Chelsea has been having an exquisite eye from the pundits and all the journalists there for the number of players they've signed. But I remember last time we were here and after Chelsea losing to Man City, I said Chelsea is one of the teams that we should really keep an eye on. The type of football they play, actually was the first time I would see a Man City really struggling possession-wise against an opponent, and Maresca ball really coming to maturity that time, and it was shown this weekend in Molineux when they demolished uh, Wolves 6-2. Would you really put Chelsea amongst your contenders for this season?
do. Would you really put Chelsea among your contenders for this year?
No, No, he has a season to organize. They have a season to organize themselves so well. And after this season, let me say even first round, after first round, you get to know his starting 11 and every player's strength, because that's on a player's strength, that's on a player's weaknesses. This is a guy they just signed for him players. You can't have all those players, man. Over 30 players. Yeah. And most of them can be starters in some teams. And they're in your team. You let go of senior players, the likes of Raheem Sterling, the likes of
Gallagher.
Garagas, where they're going to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, those are experienced players. Your senior players, letting them go, because now Raheem Sterling no longer is just 7 was taken and is now training with the under 21s, you know, which means he's not even supposed to train with the senior team. Yeah, so it says a lot that they have like a season to prove themselves, like, you know what, we can win a championship again. But with Madrid scoring a hat trick, and now if you saw the banter there, someone says Madrid scores a hat trick, and Rashford doesn't yet score a hat trick in his entire career in Manchester United. I was like, but why is Rashford why is Rashford getting the bullets at this time? The boys are struggling, the boys are trying to do something, and things are failing. But I would say
Rashford is
it was a good fight from Palmer, from Jackson, from Madreke,
situation, yeah.
yeah, from Enzo. So they'll do something this season. They'll do something this season. But they want to be the top four. They want to be the top four this season. I don't see them being the top four this season.
well. For me, I would slightly disagree with you. I feel Chelsea is really going to really perform very well this season. Yeah, but that was really a very unique take. Looking at Sterling, is the highest paid actually, the highest earner in Chelsea. I mean, most people were saying with his agency, his management was not really informed about the coach decision of not playing him this season. So everything just came like a surprise, and it was really it caused a little bit of stir in the UK media. But then, as a coach, you cannot expect to sign all those players and you expect him to accommodate them, especially in a season like this. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to also United. United losing to Brighton away. I mean, did we see that coming? After Ten Hag really assembling his squad and bringing all his Dutch contingent to Old Trafford. Do you, will he? Is he really now under immense pressure?
Is he really now under immense pressure?
But Brighton as well as beaten Manchester United. Out of the 6 times they've met, Manchester has won only once, and their guys have won 5 times. That's the thing Manchester fans forget. Though in that game, they did everything they could. We saw Manchester pressing so hard, like, you know what, we need this win. After Brighton being ahead of them, they pressed so hard. There was a cancelled goal as well of Garnacho, but that that extra time goal really put them down. And also Ten Hag, at times, why do you force moves? Why would you use Fernando Bruno Fernandes to play up front when you know his where his strength is? Yeah, he's a person who loves be coming from that midfield, but he can't play up front. Yes, now they've signed a striker. Let me hope the results are going to show up. But Ten Hag assembled a good team. The team isn't average. The team it's a very good team. But you're playing against teams which have beaten you before, which you know the tactics of Ten Hag. When he's like, if I'm using this person, I'll use. Let me also have a plan B. So Brighton isn't a team we can undermine because they've beaten you 5 times out of the 6 times you've met them. So I wasn't shocked with the results of Brighton up against Manchester United.
Yeah.
Uh, this is what is happening in the Liga. Let's look at Madrid in particular. I remember when they unveiled Mbappe, it was really one of the records, filling an 86,000 capacity stadium. expectations were high. Player comes in on the Super Cup, his first debut, scores a goal. But when it comes to the domestic league, these are two games now Mbappe has not really scored a goal, and especially in this Valladolid game, he was substituted. Was substituted by Hendrick and comes in and scores a goal. Many people are really trying to really put the pressure on Mbappe, stepping in Ronaldo's shoes, and very well they're trying to really measure him to that kind of stratosphere or Ronaldo, whereby he could turn on week in, week out. Whenever he comes on, he scores goals, and that's the type of caliber that Ronaldo was. Do you think the pressure is really mounting to on Mbappe to really prove a point to the Madristas?
No, actually, no. Even when Ronaldo left Manchester United to go to Real Madrid, he didn't start at his peak. Remember, by the time the likes of Raul were still around, yeah, he didn't start at his peak of like, did what? I'm going to give you the goals you need. No, until their guys left, and we saw what Cristiano Ronaldo is. For Mbappe, this is his second game. But in the crucial game, they really wanted him to deliver. He delivered in the Super Cup. He gave them a goal in his first game of Real Madrid. He gave them a goal. He scored a goal. This one, of course, hasn't scored a goal. Of course, the first game they drew. Then the second one, Ancelotti. This was their first. This was their home game, and of course, they won that game with Hendrick scoring his debut goal uh, of the season, which was something so interesting. So if it shows that if Mbappe is marked out, or Vinicius Junior is marked out, or Rodrigo is also marked out, I will bring in a substitute who will give me the goals I need. You know, at times we blame these players, but are they getting chances as well? And are they using the chances? Mbappe is a player we all know who will give you the goals you need. And guess what? When he starts scoring, you score, and everyone is like, man, this guy was worth that amount of money they're giving him right now as salary. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the Liga for you. We need this episode. This is our 16th episode. We really thank everyone, and we really tackled many things, including basketball, the NBL playoffs that's going on. Hudson has an eye on that, and also as we also prepare for Uganda Queens game against South Africa, we shall be really having an eye on that next time we come here. We shall be talking about our lineups and the squad that. Coach Paul put really someone that is also interesting. Also spoke about La Liga, the Premier League, and also some little bit of rugby there. So I want to thank all the people who are really following our show. And until next season, next Tuesday, we shall be on every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. We stream this live. From me and my co-host Hudson Mugweri, I want to thank you so much. Perhaps Mugweri can Hudson can really say his last words to the to the viewers, and as we move on here.
Yeah, to the viewers out there, thank you for watching our tech, and please continue doing an incredible job, because without you, we can't give you what you're supposed to deliver. Thank you very much. God bless you.